Hi, I wanted to do a little update on something that's been going on with me. Jackson's been doing well, and there's some stuff going on with him. I mean, there's always stuff going on with him, but we'll update more on that when we have a couple more appointments in and we have some more details. But I know some people have reached out to me because they've kind of noticed that I haven't really been quite myself. Um, I think obviously 2020 has been rough for everyone, but it's definitely really weighed down on my mental health a lot for multiple reasons. And one of the main ones has become more and more apparent. And so I wanted to just share a little bit about that. So what not too many people know that when we got Jackson's diagnosis, we were actually trying for another child. And once we found out that Jackson's condition was genetic and possibly inherited, we stopped trying until we got more information. And then I ended up getting my diagnosis as well with being a carrier of his condition. It was obviously devastating to get his diagnosis in the first place, and then on top of that, find out that I'm the reason that he got it, and then on top of that, find out that we may not be able to have more kids. Well, I may not be able to have more kids because of this. So it really has been a lot for me to process. And for me, I've always wanted to have at least 3 kids. That was always my number for whatever reason. And through all of this, I haven't lost that desire to have more kids. So after processing Jackson's diagnosis for a little while, I started to do some more appointments for myself, going to my doctor, talking about different options, getting some referrals from her, and then starting to look into those. I decided after doing all of the research and everything that doing IVF would be the best option for me. Although I can technically have more kids, it's a 50-50 chance that I would pass this on again to either a boy or a girl. And for me, it's a gamble, and I don't like to gamble with human life, especially when it's that of my, potential future children. I don't have it in me to naturally have another child and then go through testing only to find out that they're also affected. I've already had to deal with so much guilt with passing this on to Jackson. I couldn't do this again, and I don't want to do this again to another child. So IVF is really the only option besides doing adoption. And for me, I want to be pregnant again. I literally dream about it, and like vivid dreams, like I can feel the baby moving kind of dreams. And when I wake up and it's, not real, it's a really tough feeling. But obviously with the pandemic, a lot of elective procedures like IVF have been delayed. And although we've gone through interviewing doctors, finding the clinic we want to use, finding the doctor we want to use, finding a lab that can do the genetic testing on the embryos, everything. We've gotten everything lined up and ready except for the financial part, and we've been trying to go through insurance. We've been trying to see if there's a way to fight to have it covered because it's medically necessary. Since I'm a carrier and we have a child with, this condition, but we haven't had any luck with that. I've applied for a grant and we haven't had any luck with that so far either. And basically, it's just been a struggle to process all of that, but I think with all of the corona baby pregnancy announcements coming out, it's basically just slowly been feeling like somebody is ripping my insides out piece by piece. I wanted this so badly that I started having pseudo pregnancy symptoms, which obviously made it worse. And it's gotten to the point where I'm just consumed by this need and this desire. I know that Jackson would love to have siblings, and I feel like I'm a good mom and I deserve to do this again. But there's always this part of me that just says, like, well, maybe you were only meant to have one. But I've fought to get this far, and I don't want to give up. And even on, like, the worst days, where I'm literally in a puddle on the floor, just sobbing, every time I try and say the words, I give up, it comes out as I can't. And there's times where I feel stupid, like maybe I'm fighting for something that isn't meant to happen. And I'm wasting all of this time and energy and emotions on something that I can't have and never will happen. I just want to be able to give my son siblings to play with and love him and be with him. But my fear is by the time that happens, Jackson won't be able to play with them. Or that we'll end up losing him, and then I'll have no one. And the older I get and the more time goes on, I feel like this dream is just slowly escaping me. So I've been trying to kind of distance from social media a little bit, just because it's hard to see all of these pregnancy announcements coming out. And especially when they're friends, and I'm happy for them and I want to be happy for them, but that jealousy is just so consuming. And it's hard when it's just, the oops, we got pregnant again. Oh no, what's the third kid? All of those kinds of things. And it's like, I wish I could, it was just that easy. But I can't have an oops without having some potentially serious consequences. And like I said, I can't risk another child's life. So that's what's been going on here. So if you haven't heard from me for a while, or if you tried calling me and I didn't pick up, or you text me or messaged me and I haven't gotten back to you, it's possible I saw it, but I'm just mentally responding, or I just don't know what to say right now. I'm not really sure what the answer is, but I still know that I can't give up. I don't want to give up. But I don't know what the answer is to fix this or to make this happen. So it may just take me trying to give myself a couple months away from things and just try, I guess, to see if the holidays can distract me for a little bit. I know the holidays this year are just going to be different in general. So, yeah. If you don't hear much from me, or if I don't quite see myself, I'm just really struggling with motivation right now. And before, with Jackson's diagnosis, I was able to, have these spurts of being super motivated, and whether it lasted 2 days or it lasted 2 weeks, I felt like I got a lot done, and I know I've gotten a lot done in the last year as far as, advocacy and things like that. But right now, if I am able to scrounge up any bit of motivation, it lasts maybe 2 minutes. So, if I don't see myself, if I seem more angry lately or more negative, my anxiety has just been unbearable. So I guess just that's why. I'm hoping maybe after the new year we'll have some positive updates on this process, and maybe we'll get a grant, or we'll figure out something else. I'm not sure. All I know is that it sounds weird, but the love that I have for my future children is so real. And deep down, I know it's going to happen. But I guess for right now, I don't have the reassurance from anyone else other than us not wanting to give up hope. So, yeah. Like I said, I really don't know what the solution is, but I just really felt like I needed to share this, because it's one thing for, a child to get a diagnosis, and, with it being genetic, it's already gut-wrenching and life-changing and everything. But I think what happens is a lot of times people forget, the carrier, the one who was the one that had passed it on to the child. And they not only go through all of the emotions and everything and the grief with their child's diagnosis, but then also their own as well. So, I got my shirt on. So I guess just remember to reach out to people occasionally. even if it seems like they're handling everything well. This is heavy. This is hard. And I might seem like I'm good, like I'm constantly trying to fight and I get a lot accomplished, but this is just the one thing that I'm struggling the most with right now. So I'm not ready to give up on that hope and that dream that I'll eventually get to have some siblings to play with while he's still able to play with them. And so yeah, sorry for being a sobbing emotional wreck. That's not like a happy video to watch. But thanks for listening and watching, and like I said, hopefully I can take the next couple months or so and just try and concentrate on taking care of myself a little bit more and regroup and problem solve and come up with our game plan, and maybe we'll be able to take the next step sooner rather than later.